There we go. Well, folks, back in it. So, it's been a while. It's been like a year, maybe longer than a year since I've been on. Let's do this. Nope. Let's do this one. Okay. Yeah, it's been a while. Been really busy. Been super busy with work, and streaming is it's an interesting thing. As much as I like doing it, I don't do it as much as I should. And so yeah, anyway, I've kind of just been focusing on work stuff and kind of projects, things that I've got going on, and kind of show some of the stuff that I've been working on. But yeah, super busy. So Rich Johnson from YouTube, looks like he might be the only person viewing right now. But yeah, it's good. I mean, it pays, so I've got money. But problem is I don't have time. So I've just been working on other stuff. So actually, what we're going to end up working on today, as it says in my stream description here, is we're going to be working on this board. We're modding a board for a friend of mine who I met at work. I actually do a lot of traveling for work. So the Kaken 1337 on YouTube says I'm a lurker. Well, that's good, because I also tend to lurk quite a bit. But yeah, so this board is what we're going to be modding today. This is a Magic Force. This is their full-size board, so this is a Magic Force, like a 108 keypad or keyboard. It's got Gateron brown switches in it right now. We're going to be swapping those out. We're going to be desoldering that, and we're going to be putting in some Gateron yellows for a friend of mine. Currently, it has white LEDs. We're going to be changing those to pink LEDs for him. So yeah, that's what we're going to be working on. We got a lot of work to do ahead of us because this board, because it has LEDs in it, means that I have to desolder twice as many solder points as I normally would. Yeah, that normally would take forever. However, I actually, a while ago, bought one of these guys. So this here, this is a vacuum desoldering pump. So these things are extremely useful. They free up a lot of time for you to be able to do other stuff, but the problem with this, of course, is that these are very expensive. So I believe this was like $300. So yeah, a bit pricey, but when it comes to being able to make it for me to be able to mod my keyboards faster, I'm okay with that. That's like not a problem. And because I'm working as much as I am, I have the money to do it. So. But yeah, as usual, first things first, wear some safety glasses. You always got to think about safety before you start thinking about anything else. We are going to be desoldering. This is a lead-free solder, so it's going to be a little harder for me to desolder it. Lead-free solder is a combination of different metals, but one of the issues with it is that it does require a higher desoldering point, so it tends to burn, and it also it requires a much higher temperature for us. So I do have this turned up to a decently high temperature so we can start doing it. But really all it is you just get into it. You kind of put your soldering gun on the pad, and it just sucks the solder out. Super simple. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and desolder these first two switches. And the reason why I'm only doing two at the reason why I'm desoldering these first two is because I need to see how easy it is to remove the switches from the plate once the desoldering has happened. Yeah, the Kaken, I am planning on reflowing. When I eventually get around to putting the new switches in, yeah, I will be using lead solder. I vastly prefer lead solder to unleaded solder. Okay, so these are the two switches we have desoldered. I'm going to use this guy. We're just going to pop these out. Boop. Boop. And there you go. Pretty simple process, but we have to do that 106 more times before we're finished today. So we got some work cut out ahead of us. Now normally what I do, and this is what I'm going to do in this instance, is I will desolder everything and then pull all the switches out. So that's what I'm going to do. That'll give us a chance to pull this plate off, and then I'll start putting LEDs and such in. So let's get down to it. So keyboard modification used to be what I did the most in my streaming channel. You know, I did a lot of keyboard mods. Haven't really done that much lately. Mainly I've been focusing on doing, well, I've been working a lot, but also I've been focusing on doing some artisan keycap making, which I also used to do all the time, but I've been coordinating with another keyboard maker, and he and I have been working on a set of prototype keycaps. And I can show you real quick what that end result looks like, because I just finished it yesterday. And that is this beauty. Now, the stream does not do this justice, but this is a bright green. It is like a Kelly green color. Yeah, unfortunately, these cameras just do not do it justice at all. But yeah, this is a bright Kelly green. And this is the special, this is the profile that he came up with. So this is what we're looking at here. And so hopefully I can get this camera, there we go, cooperate. But that's what, this is the hub profile. There we go. That's the hub profile. And these are the artisan keycaps that I made. So, haven't really had a chance to type on it. I actually need to make a new master mold, but soon I'll be working on these things. That's like my next big project. It's going to be a while before I can get around to finishing that, though. I have more work coming up. I'm going to spend most of July working a lot of hours, so. But yeah, let's go ahead and start moving these along. I'm going to do the legs first, and then I'll come back for the LEDs after I finish with the switches. Some of these are just really soldered a bit weird. Right now, I have this on, let's see, I think this is like 375 right now, the Kaken. Yeah, so this is, I think right now it's at 375C, so somewhere around 700 degrees Celsius, or 700 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's because this is this is non-leaded solder. So I hate this stuff. It doesn't quite, it doesn't clear all the time from the gun. So you can tell, like, sometimes the gun will have some issues with it because the solder doesn't completely clear. So it's a bit annoying. It's one of my like biggest pet peeves with modding commercial boards, because this is what they do. So what I do to prevent that, or to help with that I should say, is I hold this somewhat sideways, and that tends to help a little bit. Tends to help the solder clear the gun just a little bit. And this one's going to be a pain in the butt. But what you can do is you go in, there's a tool that it comes with that you can use to help clear it. And you just plunge this little thing in here. There we go. And then back to it. And so you got to do that pretty much every 10 switches or so, which is really frustrating. But it's okay. Going on here. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so yeah, this is just what we do. It's kind of boring, kind of tedious, but that's okay. Yeah, once you start getting through with this, like, then we'll. A couple of my friends are asking me if I was going to lube the GATs. If I was going to lube those Gateron switches. I am not going to lube them. They're actually very smooth straight out of the box. And I'm already overdue on modding this board for my buddy, so I don't want to spend any more time. I got to get this back to him before the end of the month. I was shocked at how smooth those switches are, though. Kajita, what's going on? Yeah, I'm back. I do have too many Prionics. You are very correct. I was looking at my stash the other day. I only have 9. I don't have 10. But I do have 2 more on the way. They will be here in September. So yes, I do have too many. I gotta have something to just show off my keycaps with, man. Almost done with the first row. We'll come back around for LEDs. Alright, so that's the first row of switches. Now we got to come back around for the first row of LEDs. Before we do that, let's clear the gun. Doing fine, but I still clear it just preemptively. Okay, now back to it. Very tedious process, yes. Before, I used to play music on the stream, but YouTube muted a bunch of my videos because I played one song that I didn't know had rights to it, and then they muted a bunch of shit. Because of course. This one won't clear. There we go. Yeah, this was worth the money. Considering how much I mod boards, I just was like, you know, my time is worth it more. As I mod a lot of boards for people. Haven't been lately just because it is a lot of work, and I've been doing working more on the prototyping of keycaps, so I haven't really had time to do mods. Yeah. It's definitely worth the money. And this is the Hako. I'll show you real quick here. This is the Hako F301. You can kind of see it there. FR301, sorry. So that's what this one is. This is like the newer model. They still sell the 300, I think. You can find it, but there's no reason to get it. Might as well just get the new one. And then I recommend also, if you do get one of these, it does require these filters, these fiberglass filters. I don't know where I put my extras, but the fiberglass filters, I got this from Amazon, but do not buy the fiberglass filters from Amazon because they are way overpriced. You can buy them directly from Hako, and even with shipping, they're like the same price as if you buy like 2 or 3 of them, which you're going to need quite a few packages of them, but if you buy 2 or 3 packages, they end up being way cheaper than Amazon. So, just a thought. Because I think in Amazon it's like $15 for a set of 10 filters or something like that, and like it's like $5 from Hako. Yeah. So Rich, yeah, that's when I bought it, it was $300. So that's cool. I'm glad it's cheaper now. LEDs always take longer because they're like a little bit smaller or harder to make sure you clear it. Oh man, forgot how tedious. Alright. Okay, so now let's go ahead and start taking these out. Alright. Some of them, the LEDs just fell right out. They didn't even hesitate. See, normally I cut my nails, but I've been doing a lot more of this kind of stuff, and believe it or not, having fingernails really helps. You get a lot more trying to pull things apart. Yeah, this is exactly why I stick with 60% boards. Yep, I feel ya. Well, I mean, I use Prionics mainly, so, you know, 60 switches, that's all I need. 60 switches, 60 LEDs, it's much easier. Plus, you know, it's smaller. Much more compact board. Alright, so there's the LEDs. Now let's get them switches out. Come on, there we go. Come on. Looks like we got one that does not want to cooperate. Well, one side's there we go. Sometimes it's this back half. There we go. That's better. Common Loot, what is up, buddy? I'm just modding a keyboard this morning. What are you up to today? That's my... So, I use Restream for this, so you guys might hear me talking to people on various channels. I've got a couple people on Twitch, a couple people on Mixer, and I do this with... What's going on, Common? Alright, where... I gotta start storing these switches somewhere. Get a bag for them. Okay, so we got one row down. 5 more to go. Jesus Christ. This is gonna take forever. Alright, well, no time like the present. Let's get started. Okay, so next row here, let's go ahead and... You know, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do all the switches first, and then I'll do the LEDs after a short break. How's that sound? I think that's going to be a lot easier to deal with. Akiz, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, it's been ages, dude. It's been over a year. I just don't stream that much anymore, or at all. That's what happens when you have to work. So I've been traveling a lot for work, and that really takes it out of me. Plus, I have social anxiety, and streaming, it both helps and hinders it. It's weird. Because even though it's not really being social, it kind of is. But streaming keyboard stuff is kind of fun for me. One shot per row, yes. So that way, by the time I'm done with the first row, I don't drink very much. So I'd be like trash. I drink very rarely. Yeah, see, switches go way faster than LEDs do. By a considerable amount. Actually, here in a second, I'm going to drink some coffee real quick. So I just woke up like, oh, about an hour ago. Just about an hour, maybe hour and a half. And I woke up and said, you know what? Maybe today is a streaming day. Thinking about it for a while. Does it come with smaller nozzle? No, it does not come with a smaller nozzle, but you can buy smaller nozzles. The nozzle that it comes with actually works very well for switches. It's pretty much the perfect size to get around the head of a switch, or the leg of a switch, and it's just big enough for most commercial boards. It's just big enough for the switch hole. So it has enough suction. If you were to get smaller, it wouldn't have enough suction, and it would clog up more. And if you were to go bigger, you'd kind of have the same problem. it wouldn't have as much suction. I should say if it was smaller, the suction would be higher, but you wouldn't be able to get around the switch leg. And so it would just clog it. So, oh, for the LEDs, yeah, Common, I'm back on the streaming horse, sort of. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming video games. We'll see. As much as I love playing video games, I feel really nervous when I play video games and stream at the same time. So keyboard stuff is a little easier for me to do. All right, forgot about those sounds. Nixternal is now hosting me. Thank you. Thank you, Nixternal. I completely forgot about those sounds. I don't know if it plays through the channel. I mean, I know it does when it comes through my speakers, but I don't know if it actually plays through on the stream. It should. Okay, so, all right, that's one row. We're going to do the next row of... That's you on Twitch. Oh, okay. Nixternal. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. What am I doing? I'm lost track. Oh, there we are. All right, so now we're on row 3 of switches. You know what? Actually, first things first. Clear the gun. Get some coffee. Right over here. Here it is. All right. So actually, let me show you some of the stuff that I've been working on. Some of you there's a few folks who are on here who've been on my channel before, so they've seen some of the work that I do. But I mean, I used to make a lot of keycaps and stuff, and so one of the things that I used to make is I used to make these guys. This was I did a sale. These were on Mass Drop. I made these a while ago. So this is like a tentacle keycap here. There we go. That's better focus. So these are what I used to make all the time. I still have the molds for them. I could make more of them, but I have so many B stock and other versions that I need to sell these. But then I started making other colors. I was working on some other ones. So these guys need to be clipped. But so this is one that I've been working on. Oh man, and these cameras just murder this color. So this is actually teal. You can't tell because the camera just ruins the colors. But yeah, this is actually teal. So it's like a greenish blue, right? So this is a teal one. So this is like the Miami colorway. If you're familiar with the Miami key sets, that's actually like a Miami colorway. Same thing with this one. And then I made these ones, which are like kind of like they're like a baby blue and a pink. So these are much more like cotton candy colors. And then I also was doing cherry ones, cherry keycaps, but I stopped with these ones because I was having some issues with the molds. So, but I think I have the molds done. Have I experimented with Alps stems? No, I have not, because I don't own any Alps keyboards or Alps switches, so it hasn't been something I wanted to focus on. Yeah, mainly for that fact. But, yeah. Oh, hello, first time watching live. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. So, all right. Had my coffee. Let's get back into it. So, Speakeasy Me. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, we're just going live here. We're desoldering 108 switches from a this board is, oh wait, this is weird. Why are these ones? Oh, those are because I'm on the numpad. Thought they were laid out kind of weird. Okay, so we got to start over here. Okay, so this is a Magic Force 108 key keyboard with Gateron browns. We're going to be replacing them with Gateron yellows. which are surprisingly smooth right out of the box. I was stunned at how smooth they are. Everybody always said, oh, GAT yellows, they're so smooth. I am personally like Telios, but I can see why so many people like GAT yellows now. I might have to reflow that. That one was not coming out right. If you want to repaint your current keyboard, Common Loots on Mixer is asking, we mean to ask if I wanted to paint my current keyboard, is there a paint recommend for it? I recommend acrylic paints because they dry very quickly. They are extremely cheap. And they can be diluted with water. If you're painting a keyboard, though, you don't want to use too much water, just very little. Because if you use too much water, it actually reduces the chemical grip of the chemical that basically makes paint liquid, the acrylic part of it. So it decreases the grip of it, and so it'll peel or flake off over time. However, Common, what I would recommend to you is, I would say, honestly, you're going to want to desolder the switches. You kind of, if you want to paint a board, you really need to kind of take it apart. Because if you try to paint it when the switches are on it, it's a chance that you could get paint in the switches. Unless you're very, very careful, which I'm sure you would be. But that is a problem. And also, never, ever, 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 ever spray paint a keyboard. Ever. Don't do it. Unless you're going to just take off the bottom of it and only spray paint the bottom, do not spray paint the top of a keyboard. It will get in the switches, and it will ruin them. Just so you know. It's one of those things. What kind of keyboard do you use, Common? Curious. So for you guys who are wondering who I'm talking to, so this is Common Loots he's on Mixer. He actually does stream. He streams video games. Really cool dude. I met him through another friend. We have a mutual streamer friend, Carly Toboggan. Ethan also from, he's also on Mixer. He's someone I met through Carly Toboggan. So, man, this switch does not want to cooperate here. But anyway, and I actually met him at PAX too. I got to see him in person at PAX this last summer, or last winter here. It was in, February, I believe? PAX South? Yeah, that switch is not coming out. A Logitech G213, okay. I'm not sure how easy it is to take apart a Logitech. I've never tried. I actually mod a lot of these guys, Magic Force boards. They're very easy to take apart. I've also done a bunch of, I've done 2 Philco Majest touches. Philco's boards are really well built. Very easy to take apart. Yeah, January. So anyway, PAX was a lot of fun. It was fun, but I don't know. I guess I didn't really know what to expect, and so I kind of got bored half the time. because I was wandering around by myself for the most part. I played some of the games that were there, but I don't know. I was just kind of like overwhelmed, I guess, by. And I knew it would be busy, but I was a little overwhelmed by how busy it was. And I didn't have anyone to walk around with, so I was kind of bored. Because I don't play like first-person shooters that much. I mean, I do, but I don't play competitive ones. And it was just kind of like that's what everybody was there for. So it was a little boring for me. But I still had fun with everybody. I mean, like our evenings when we all got back together at the end of the night, man, that was wild. And it was funny because it was wild. We weren't doing anything wild, really. We were playing stupid games with each other. Okay, well, we're finishing up here on this. We got done with that row. That's good. So that's the plate there. All right, so these start over here. It's weird desoldering a full-size board. Like, I never deal with full-size boards. It's very odd to me. So one of the things I didn't think about with this board, so we'll have to see how this goes, is that putting in the LEDs, you have to know where the positive leg is and the negative leg, and it's gonna be a bit difficult because I'm not exactly sure. Oh, they're marked. Okay, the positive leg is marked. That's good. That's good to know. That'll make it a little bit easier. Because if you put them in backwards, it doesn't work. So what are you up to today, Common? What you getting around to? This is what I'm doing. I gotta ship this out tomorrow, so gotta get this done. What are you gonna get up to today? Carly, Common, do you know where she went? I know Shy is out of town, but does Carly still around, or did she go with her? Alright. We're on second to last row now. Some of these switches are really giving me a hard time. I think we're going to have to reflow those with some lead solder. You really want to do something positive. Yeah. I feel ya. Today I have a bunch of cleaning to do. So I guess you can consider doing this stream as a way of procrastinating. But I got a bunch of cleaning to do. And I need to cook a bunch of food too. And cook some food for the week. my god, so tedious. And we haven't even done the LEDs yet. Oh, so they both went. Oh, they should be coming back soon, though, I think, right? Yeah, I got a lot going on. So, because of work, the reason why I've been so busy and I haven't been streaming is I've been traveling a lot because the client that I have, I work for a software development company, and the client I have is all the way on the other side of the country. So I have to travel a lot to go talk to them and do some stuff with them. So, but they are now planning on rolling out one of our new software packages, and so I have to travel there a lot more. And there's a chance that I might end up moving to the East Coast to help support it, but I'm trying to avoid that if possible. It's something I planned anyway, but I'm trying to avoid doing it any earlier than I need to. It's just not easy. Not easy, because the travel is just killing me. I have to go back out there. I think this year alone, I have to go back out there 4 more times. And the travel is just brutal, you know? There's only so much you can do. Alright, last row of switches. And then we can start doing LEDs. Again. Okay, you know what? We're going to clear it, and then I'm going to go drink some coffee real quick. No, that's not sound right. You know what? I think we're going to have to check the tube. Oh yeah, that is like, look at how much lead is in there. That is not right. So we got to kind of poke it in there. Woo! There we go. Ooh, that is hot. That's a little better. There we go. Should have a little more suction on there now, so that'll work better. Okay, where were we? Last row. Right there. That's better. And then we'll go on solder. Or, yeah, it's a lot of travel, comments. This is a lot of travel. So, because it's, you know, about the fastest flights there, overall, the fastest trip there is 9 hours. Because there's always a layover. So, most of the time, the trips end up being 13 hours. But sometimes I can get a direct flight, and it's only 9. And that doesn't include, you know, getting off the plane, grabbing my luggage. I have to get a rental car. You know, there's all kinds of stuff that's out there that I have to do. And then, you know, checking into a hotel and everything else. It's a lot of work. And so I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible. Okay, almost done with the switches now. And then we'll hit up the LEDs. Alright. So yeah, we're going to be putting Gateron yellows, and then we're going to be putting in magenta LEDs, neon pink LEDs. So, let me get some coffee, and then we'll start doing LEDs. That's going to take time, though. LEDs take forever. Woo, okay. Alright, so... I feel like that's... Yep. I swear, man, this non-leaded solder just clogs up so much. It's already kind of... Comments, so that's actually the color that the guy requested. The guy that I'm modding this board for. This is for a friend of mine. But he wanted pink LEDs because pink is a cool color. I love pink. I've got a lot of, like, most of my boards have pink LEDs in them because I like them. It's that neon color. It's super bright. I like it. Okay. Here we go. LEDs time. Let's see, is that guy? Yeah, there we go. Sometimes it's hard to tell if you actually got all the solder out of these LEDs. They're a pain. It's pretty easy way to tell when the LED just falls right out after you're done desoldering it, so that's a pretty good sign. This is going to be another one of those irritating ones. It's not going to come out. What's that thing supposed to do? Ethan, are you asking about this? This guy? So this is a vacuum desoldering pump. So what it does is the tip here is very hot, and so it melts the solder, and then this back end is a pump, so it sucks the solder out. So usually you have to do it by hand using a couple tools, and it's very inefficient and time consuming. This device automates it, so it's much, much faster. Tends to be a lot more accurate. So, reduces the time, like, easily in half. So, usually, desoldering a switch and a LED will take, 30 seconds or more per switch. This is taking me 3 seconds. So, it's a very big time saver. Yeah, it's very useful. It was an expensive tool, but it's been worth every penny. That guy is not going to come out. All right. Sometimes These LEDs just, no matter how hard you try, they do not want to let go of their solder. And so you got to go back in with another. Let's talk about reflowing. You might hear me say reflow. So reflow is, you do is you put more solder into the hole, which sounds counterintuitive. What it does is it melts the other solder that's in there, and then it gives you a chance to actually suck the solder all the way out again. Surprisingly highly effective. So we'll probably end up doing that on a few of these because they are not cooperating. More than half of these LEDs just did not come out. And that's usually what ends up happening. So, all right, let's get some grip. Get some of these pliers and let's see what we can pull out. Some of these, yeah. Oh, well, actually, I think most of them are fine. It looks like only two or three are actually stuck. And that's okay. All right. So let's find those 2 or 3 that are stuck and fix them. There's one. Let's see if we can clear it first. It's close. Problem is you don't want to have the heat on the circuit for too long. Then you run the risk of damaging the actual circuit board. So I think we're going to have to reflow those guys. We'll do those later. I was able to get one of them. That's good. Ooh, I was able to get 2 of them. Third one? Oh, maybe. Maybe? Yes. All right, well, that's all 3. That one's probably going to be a pain to get the LED out of, but that's okay. All right, next row. Moving right along. All right, let's clear the chamber here. Plunge that. Check the chamber. All right, we are good. There's a lot of solder in here. Let's see it building up in there. Repulsive, finally live. Yes, I am live. Welcome to the stream, buddy. Okay, where are we here? All right, let's start from this end. Yeah, I cut my mohawk off because it was, well, for work, kind of. I was out working with a client, and I had to wear a hard hat all the time, and so I never had a chance to spike it up. I miss it. But, you know, hair grows back. I can always do it again. It took a long time, and that mohawk was like 8 months. 8 months of growing. All right, have fun, Repulsive. Okay. Just moving right along here. Again, some of these LEDs are not cooperating. Oh, sorry, Ethan. I wasn't paying attention too closely. All right, Ethan, have fun. What are you up to today, Repulsive? I am working on this. Working on this, and then eventually, once this is done, I gotta cook a bunch of food. Cook some food for myself. Send me a message. Okay, we are not even halfway done yet. Repulsive, you just woke up. Yeah, I woke up like just about 2 hours ago or so. So I'm fully awake now, but man, I'll tell you what, it was hard waking up this morning. Didn't really have much going on, and I came down to the studio and I was like, you know, I planned on doing this anyway. But then I was like, you know, it has been a long time since I've streamed. So I thought about it for a bit, and I was like, you know, let's do it. It's been a while. People like my streams. So let's do it. So I did. And Common was saying, so Common was here a little bit earlier, and he was saying that I should stream video games again. Or everybody's been saying I should stream video games again. He was like congratulating me for getting back on the horse. I just get nervous streaming games. I'm not that entertaining when I'm streaming games, I think. Maybe I am, I don't know. These guys are not... These ones are definitely not coming out. But yes, do I ever play Fortnite? No, I actually do not like Fortnite. I don't play PvP games at all. I am very much not a PvP player. So it's funny because I love watching Carly play, but myself, I don't play. Hey, thanks for the host. Scrimpy Bucket. What's going on? We got, who else? Is Merger Dubs. What's going on? Getting quite a few viewers today. It's kind of nice. Oh, Vietnam War. Oh. So you're on a different channel? On a different thing? Count there. Count, that's the word. So yeah, welcome guys. Oh, Merger Dubs stream. Okay. So yeah, this is what I'm doing here is I'm desoldering switches and LEDs on this board. So you can see I've started removing some of the switches on here already. And we're about halfway done removing them. And once they're done, I'll swap them out for a different set of switches. And we'll solder those in. I think altogether we got another 2 hours worth of work ahead of us. Modding keyboards is a long process, but highly rewarding. At least I think it's rewarding. Scrimpy, how's my day going? Not too bad. Not too bad at all. I'm just been working a bunch, and now I can get some streams done. We're on the home stretch. We are gonna have to redo some of these LEDs though. Some of them would not remove, the solder just would not come out, so. Yeah, so these are white LEDs, Merger. I'm going to be replacing them with pink LEDs. It's time to clear the gun. Yeah. Let's clear it. Green, red, and blue LEDs. So Scrimpy says he had a big water fight. Yeah, so you know, the other day was the first day of summer. So if it's officially summer now. Personally, I mean, I don't hate summer. I'm not like against it, but I don't like heat. So for me, I'm like, yeah, not so much with the summer. But, you know, I got a lot of friends who absolutely love summer. It's like their favorite season, and I'm like, you are crazy. Like, I mean, I understand why they like summer. I mean, the weather is beautiful where I live, but I'm just not a big fan of heat, and so it kind of ruins it for me. Yeah, some of these LEDs, they're just, yeah, they're not coming out. Okay, where were we? No. There we are. These LEDs that don't want to come out. That solder is just in there. Yeah, I'm going to have to reflow quite a few of these, it looks like. gosh, we're almost done. Almost there. Just a few more to go. Don't rush it. Just got like 3 more. Oh, that one just came right out. Wow. All right. There we go. Wow, some of these LEDs just falling right out. That's nice. All right, let's start pulling these things out, and we'll see which ones are gonna hold on. And we'll have to retry those. There's a bunch of them that were just kind of in a series there that just did not want to move. So like that guy is not coming. That one. Go. Yeah, that one's not going anywhere. Wow. Yeah, like a whole row of those there just did not want to go. So we'll have to reflow quite a few of these guys. All of those ones. We still have quite a few that don't want to move. So we're going to have to find a way to get those out. In the meantime, we can take the switches out. So let's go ahead and get on that. And this is easy. This is just a matter of this. Obviously, if the LED is still in there, you can't really take the switch out. So those are going to have to wait. But it does help you identify which ones have come out and which ones, or which ones have cooperated and which ones haven't. Oh, speaking of cooperation, this looks like this switch isn't ready to go either. Yeah, that guy might be a problem, huh? Reflow that one for sure. All right, no problem. It can be done. Oh, this one's a little harder to pull out. There we go. Weird little plate that they've got here is kind of hard to get around. there's like this little protective plate thing here, and it's hard to get the switch clip out of there. There we go. You definitely made this a little harder to get the switches out of. Come on. Oh, looks like that one doesn't want to come out anyway. That one's got an LED in it still. I got most of them. So what we'll do next is we'll grab the water, we'll heat up the soldering gun. We'll get that warmed up. And then we'll start putting those, we'll reflow a little bit of extra solder on them. And that will help us to pull those out. That doesn't take too long. Okay. I have a very nice soldering iron as well. Sometimes having good tools really, really helps. Okay. So we got a few switches that need to be reflowed. Yeah, about 10 or 12 of them. Okay, so turn off the pump. All right, now I need water. Okay. Get the soldering sponge back up. All right, and then soldering iron warming up. Let's get these out of here. Okay. So our board is mostly desoldered now. We just got to reflow. And we're going to do that with this, which is lead solder. And once our soldering iron is heated up here, which it is now. Woo! Yep, that's definitely hot. Okay. So when you reflow, what you're doing is you're putting solder back in. And that helps to loosen up. Because what we'll end up doing is we'll end up redoing the vacuuming process, and that will actually help remove the switch. It's kind of weird how it works, but it works. Okay. Like I said, some of these LEDs are just problematic. But once we do this reflow, they come out pretty quick. We only have a few to do. So here, let me get the camera in position for what we're doing. You can see I got my solder here. And we're just putting solder back into these legs. And then we'll turn the vacuum pump back on and we'll undo it again. It's simple. Easy peasy. Okay. Ooh, yeah, that one's really bad. I really needed it. Just get that solder in there. I got most of them, I think. So let's take a look. What did I miss? Did I miss any? I'm sure I did. Sometimes it can be hard to tell if you've missed them or not. Because you can't really... Oh, there's one. Oh my gosh, so many tools. I really need to redesign my workspace because where all my electrical cords are, it's a pain in the butt. They all kind of like hang off the edge of the desk, and it's really annoying. All my cords and stuff go all over the desk, and then they hang off the edge of the desk and pull shit off when I move them around. It's really annoying. Okay. That should do that. And now, hey Common, thanks for hosting. Okay. Now, we desolder again. Right, so now these should clear very quickly. And much cleaner. Boom. That is the beauty of using lead solder. It looks like I missed one. Oh, I missed two. Well, crap. I'll have to redo those. Just fell right out, literally. All right. Okay, just a few more to desolder and then we're good. So Common, we're desoldering because what we're doing is we're going to replace the switches and LEDs in this. So this board comes with these brown switches, Gateron browns, and while they're not a terrible switch, the guy who this board belongs to, he wants a different switch in them. So we're going to be replacing them with a different type of switch. We're going to be replacing them with a linear switch. So that is these Gateron yellows. That's over here. So that's Gateron yellows are a linear switch. So the difference is this brown, this is a tactile switch. So when you press it, you can feel like a bump, basically. But then a linear switch is just smooth all the way down. There's no bump. And so that's what he wants. He wants that smooth switch. So that we're changing over to these. And browns aren't a bad switch. The Gateron browns aren't bad at all. Cherry browns, they leave a lot to be desired, to be honest. The problem with cherry browns is that they have almost no tactility to them. There used to be the big complaint that they were very sandy, but I think the major problem that I've had with them is they're just not tactile. Considering that they're marked as a tactile switch, for as little tactility as they have, you can barely call them tactile if you ask me. They're just not tactile. Not enough for me, anyway. There's plenty of people who think that they're fine, and that's great. I should at least lube his stabs. I probably will. I have plenty of lube, but these stabs aren't really that great. They're very loose, so lubing them isn't really going to help too much. They're very, very loose stabs. So, yeah, I don't know how much lubing them is really going to help them. Alright, lots of switches laying around. Okay. Let's get these other ones desoldered. Alright, let's see. I missed them when I was doing my soldering earlier. So we're just going to fix that real quick. I love this soldering iron. This soldering iron heats up in about 3 seconds. It's phenomenal. It is a very impressive tool. Alright, there they are. These are the culprit switches. So, yep, just flow a little solder into them. And then we'll vacuum them out. Doesn't take much. Say there's more than 3. Come on, I know there was more than one. More than 3 of those guys. Okay, there we go. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 switches. And then we'll be able to start up with the re-switching. Okay, that should be it. That should be all we need. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Now the switches should just come right out. Boom, 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 boom. There it is. Desoldered, de-LED'd. Okay, so what the Kakan was talking about, and he's on YouTube watching me, but what he was talking about was lubing stabs. So lubing stabs is basically, what that means is lubricating the stabilizers that are right here. These are the stabilizers. So these are for the longer than 1 unit keys, like your shift, your space bar, and such. And a lot of people like to lubricate them because they say, for example, that it reduces the like rattling sound that they have. Which I am on the fence about that. I don't think that, well, I mean, I use 1 unit keycaps anyway. I use a ortholinear grid keyboard, so I don't have to deal with that. I don't really use stabilizers, and if I do, it's only on the space bar. So we talking about lubing them is like you get in here and you can like lubricate a couple different parts on it, but these are very loose stabilizers, so like even if I lubricate them, they're still going to make a ton of noise. There's just not any way to undo that. So, and I honestly don't want to take apart this board any more than I already have. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. I think I might just leave it how it is, because it's just not gonna make that much of a difference. These are just very loose stabilizers. So we're gonna hold off on that. It's very time consuming, and I honestly don't think he's gonna care. So we're not gonna do it. Sorry. Oh, forgot one thing. Okay, so this board does not have, so on a switch, see like, all right, you can kind of see now. So there's like 5 legs basically, or 5 points. You got these right here. These are like little stabilizers. Then you got your switch legs, and then you got your like center pole, basically your switch stem kind of thing. So on some boards, if you take a look at this one doesn't have those 2 little legs. See? So what we have to do is we have to clip these off. What you do is you get some flush cutters. Flush cutters are flat on one side, like that. And they can clip things flat. Hey Drashna, how's it going? So what you do is you just kind of clip really quickly. Make sure everything's turned off. Yeah, okay. So we're basically just clipping all these off. Again, another tedious process, but what would keyboards be without tedium? Right, Drashna, what would keyboards be without tedium? It's just absolutely tedious half the time. But then you get to type on them, and then everything's good, right? Isn't that how it works? So the problem is that this PCB, the circuit board, does not have those little holes for this. So if you try to plug this in, and try to put the switches in, they're not going to go in because they aren't flat on the bottom. So you got to go through and clip them. Drashna says that is meditative. Okay, meditative. We'll take that. Yes, meditative. Fair enough. Okay. And we just gotta get through and clip all these guys off here. A lot. It's been a while since I've clipped these. It's kind of weird. Kind of weird doing it. I personally like them on my boards because it makes them, it helps to make them line up a little straighter when you're putting them in boards, and then it makes them a little more stable, I think. The thing I don't like about them is how they fly everywhere. We got a lot to clip through. So the first person I ever followed streaming, this was on YouTube. I followed Ski with Pete, which is how I kind of got into the mechanical keyboards world. And so, yeah, I followed Ski with Pete, and I just watched a lot of his videos and stuff, and that's how I got into making keyboards. And then I I decided I was going to stream, and so I got a bunch of cameras and stuff, microphones set up, all that, and did a bunch of streams, and I kind of miss it. It's a lot of fun. One of the problems, I worked a lot, but also one of the other issues I had with streaming recently is I haven't been doing a lot of keyboard stuff. Sometimes you just run out of material, I'm not really building them. I don't sell them, so I don't have like a lot of stuff to do. I don't have a lot of material to work with, so I just haven't been doing it. I haven't like done a keyboard build in a while, so. Kyle H. Box Navy switches. Jeez, Drashna. Yeah, those things are... I like them, actually. I do like them. They're very loud and clicky. But, like where I work and stuff, my coworkers don't like them so much. But really, to kind of have best of both worlds, you can use Box Royals, which basically are like a clicky switch. They're extremely clicky-like. Box Royals have the same kind of click collapse that a clicky switch does, but are much more that have a tactile and not as high pitch. Yeah, I work from home most of the time, and actually pretty soon I'll be working from home like all the time. The other thing I don't like about Box Navies is that there was the issue with them breaking keyboards or breaking keycaps, which was not ideal. Luckily, it's not really a problem. Like, they've kind of fixed that. But, yeah, it didn't break any of my keycaps, but I'm still very wary about that whole issue. And there's still some evidence to show it's still doing it. So... yeah, the Big Bang set. Luckily, that's not a super expensive set, but if you have something like, GMK Laser, or something like that that's not super common. I mean, GMK Laser is pretty common, but you know what I mean. Like, if it was your only set of GMK Laser and it broke your caps, man, I feel for you. Yeah, actually, so Drashna, they actually had three separate runs. Two that I know of for sure, and that was there was the first run of Box Navies, which I had, and apparently the first run of Box Navies did not break people's keycaps, and then like the second run or the second order of them were the ones that were breaking everybody's stuff, and then they retooled them. And so there's a slight difference between the first run and the second run. But I don't know if it was like just a coincidence or what. But like the Box Navies that I have didn't cause any issues. And then I looked at the difference between some of the pictures that people had of the second run. And mine looked very different. And the Box Royals apparently are okay. They never really had issues. But I had Hakko Royal Clears. Hakko Royal Clears are by far the most tactile switch I've ever used. And I really like Hakko Royal Clears, but you can tell their stems are huge. Like, I don't trust them. I think they're nice, but I used those to build a board for my boss, and I put some PBT caps on them, and I don't know if the PBT caps, are stretching or not, but I didn't want to put any other nicer caps on them because I just that worried about them. Moving right along on these. This is Meditative, as Drashna says. Meditative. So we've been streaming for nearly 2 hours. I'm pretty sure we'll hit the 4-hour mark on this stream this time around. We don't always hit 4 hours. But 4 hours is about all I can take before I got to go eat or do something else. It's just standing for 4 hours is a lot for me. It's a lot of... It gets tiring, you know? It's kind of hard to take a mid-stream break. We're just cruising. And I think when I bought these, I bought 92 switches, maybe, or no. When I bought these, I bought these from Novel Keys, so I probably bought 100. But I only really need, I think this is 87 keys, and I could have gone with just 90, but I always buy extra because you never know. You never know what's going to happen. So I always buy a couple spares. Try the Hako switches. Drashna, I recommend trying the Hako switches. The Royal Clears are really, really nice. They're very tactile. I haven't tried the other ones, though. Because I think the other one's the Hako Royal Trues. And then there's the actual like Hako Trues and Hako Clears. Which I haven't tried either. I believe I had the original Halo True switches is what I ordered. Back when they first were made. I had the first run of Halo Trues. I didn't like them. I just did not like the feel. I was expecting something a little more tactile. And so I just didn't like them. And now I use Zelio V2 Xylants. And those are ridiculously tactile. I like them. Well, and I have V2, like regular V2s as well. But when you compare them to like regular Zelios, it's like night and day. Almost done. Then we can start putting these in. Even though, to be completely honest, I might put the switches in, and then I might do soldering of the switches and LEDs a different day, because I'm actually really hungry. I haven't eaten any breakfast yet. So I might just do the soldering on a different day. I don't have my stream stamina like I used to. Where I used to stream for like 4 hours easily. There we go. Yeah, take care of myself first. Yeah, I do. I just gotta clip through it. And you know, it gives me something else to do on a different day. Alright. We'll start putting these in. Got all these little nibs everywhere. Get those out. We'll start putting switches in and see how I feel. They're like little, they look like little black donut sprinkles. Okay. Oh man, so in a couple weeks, we got the Seattle keyboard meetup coming up. So that's going to be interesting. I've only been to 3 years now, maybe. Only been to it 3 years in a row. Last year in the summer meetup, I actually was a guest speaker. I don't know if they actually recorded it though. I don't think they did. I think someone else recorded part of it, but for the most part, my talk wasn't recorded, which is kind of sad. But I'm not sure if they're doing speakers this year or who they're doing, what speakers are doing. They didn't actually. I didn't see a call for speakers this time around, because they usually do a general call for presenters and speakers. But I was already a speaker last year, so I don't think they'd do it this year. And then they canceled the winter meetups. They don't do the winter meetups anymore, which I thought was interesting. I mean, it's a lot of work. So yeah, I did a talk on resin casting actually. It was interesting because there was another talk about resin casting like right after mine, or like shortly after mine, that with like a bunch of like the famous. It was like more of like the famous dudes. I'm not famous. That's what I'm trying to say. So there was a talk that they did record, or someone did record, with the, I believe like ETF, which I can't remember what he makes. But ETF was there. Prime Caps was there. I don't remember who else. I don't really pay attention to a lot of other artisan makers, to be completely honest. I don't really buy artisans. I make them, but I don't buy them. I have a couple. I have a few artisans that I bought. I bought some Jelly Key. I've had some Jelly Key ones, which actually I need to sell because I don't display them. So I've got I have like 3 or 4 Jelly Key keys that I don't have on any of my boards, and I don't plan on using. So I figure I might as well sell them, right? Like with keyboards, why buy what you can make? Exactly, Trash. Now, why buy if I can make it? That's a, totally valid. It's a valid point. I make them. So now we're just clipping the switches in, and these, obviously, they just slide right in. Sometimes, though, just from like the way that these sit in bags and holders and such, sometimes we get like a bent switch leg, and so when you go to clip it in, it doesn't go into the correct hole, or it'll bend as you try to put that into the switch leg into the PCB. It'll bend. And that's happened twice so far on this board, so I just bent it back in place, and there you go. But this board's actually pretty well made, so everything is just sliding right into place. What's funny is that Magic Force, their boards they're cheap. Like, I think this board was only like $60, I think, maybe $70. So it's not expensive for a full size board. And yeah, so only like $60 or $70, and it's very well made. They're like highly known. Do I still make Speakeasy? Asking if I still make those colorful resin keycaps. Yes, I do. Speakeasy might be interested in seeing my new project. All right, so the camera does not do it justice, but so that's actually a bright green. The camera doesn't show it, but this is actually a very bright green color. And actually, I can show you. I can post in the chat here real quick the album so you can actually see what I've done. I'm going to show you. I'll just post this in chat real quick. cannot find it now. All right, there we go. So that's the album on Imager there, so you can take a look and see. Yeah, so they're like a jade color. And that's a full board. So for those of you watching, as a secret, the plan is to start mass producing those. And I will sell them as full boards. Well, I should say they'll be sold as full ortholinear boards, or they are also compatible with most 40% boards, but they are not designed. There's not enough keycaps to cover like one of these boards. The mods and such, they're not designed for that. But yeah, a 40% board. I believe it'll work with a JJ40 or an AMJ40. I'm not really sure. An AMJ40. I can't remember the names of the boards that it's compatible with. I'm working with Evan from the Van Keyboards. So it's designed to fit a minivan, plank, or a Prionic. Obviously, I had to go with a Prionic. So, but yeah, minivan, plank, or Prionic is what it's designed for. And so those will probably be for sale in various colors. Yeah, it'll be a full ortho key set. Full ortho key set. Sorry, speakeasy, yeah. So not a board. A full ortho key set. So it would be 60 keys. And so I'm working on that. I have to make new master molds for them. The problem is that in order to be efficient and to make sure that the colors match correctly, I have to make all the keys all at once. It's not feasible to do it any other way because of the fact that if you try to do it like in two different batches, it can be very difficult to make sure the colors actually match each other. It's doable. There's a way of doing it. You can do some like more accurate measurement and stuff. But when it comes to measuring the colors you're putting into these things, you don't really need much. You're putting almost no coloring into them. So it becomes harder for me anyway. I'm sure there's a way of doing it, but a better way of doing it, but it becomes harder to measure how much you're actually putting in. I tried doing it through weight, but the problem is that you're putting so little color in them that the weight is almost nothing. So when you go to put when you go to line that color up or whatever and try to weigh it, it's like nothing. There's just so little weight. It doesn't even register as like 1/10 of a gram, I don't think. So, oh, that's funny. These don't clip in, so they just kind of fall right out. All right, well, we'll do those later. But there you go. There's all the yellows. Those are all GAT yellows. So your favorite is the blue-white, huh? But what about these guys? That's the same profile that I just showed you, but in a blue-white. So again, those will probably be something that goes on sale. All right. All the switches are in place now. So the next thing I have to do is put in LEDs and then start soldering these in. The LEDs might be a problem on a few of these switches because of the fact that some of these holes didn't quite get as clear as I had wanted. So it might be difficult. Sell them to me, please. So the thing is, that keycap profile. It's a new profile speakeasy. So it wouldn't be compatible with most keycaps. I think the closest it would be compatible with would be DSA, because they're very low profile. So I think it would be probably most compatible with DSA. But you'd have to buy a full board. And that's the issue I'm kind of having, is that in order to be efficient with them, I have to make them all at once. Because otherwise they have a problem with color matching. And you also have a problem with making enough for one keyboard. And so, with a Prionic, it's 60 switches. And I'm having an issue trying to figure out how much to price them at. Because, they're artisan keycaps. They take a lot of work, right? I have to, make them, clean them, inspect them, all that kind of stuff to make sure that they're actually up to my quality standard and such. And so it's like, what do I sell them at? That's, what's a reasonable price? It's very hard to decide. It's not a simple calculation. It'd just be like, okay, it's going to cost this much. So, anyway, there we go. All the switches in place. Let's make sure all the legs are good. What I usually do is I just run my finger over it and I check to make sure that both legs are actually in each hole, because you can feel both through there. You're just trying to make sure that each one of these legs has each one of these switches has two legs sticking out. And you can do it visually, but I've found that sometimes when I do this visually, I miss them. So, and then you have to desolder the switch again, and bend the leg back in place, resolder, etc., etc. And while that's not bad, it's just kind of annoying. So, it doesn't take much to just go through and feel each one out. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yep, they're all in place. Suggestion: separate alpha kit and a mods kit. I thought about doing that, Speakeasy, but well, let's say that is a thing that I'm looking to do. But again, I have to make the master molds for them. The master molds aren't ready yet, because in order to do 60 keycaps, I have to do 3 batches with the mold that I have right now. Because it's very difficult. You can't really do 60 keycaps at once in one mold because the mold won't really work. It would be a huge mold. And while it's possible, it'd be very difficult to do well because the mold won't hold its shape very well, the keycaps will get deformed, etc., etc. So it's better to do them in 3 sets, 3 molds. And so what that would be is, here I can show you what one of the molds looks like. So this is what one of the molds looks like. This is for a set of 12, basically. Or not a set of 12, sorry. A set of 20. And so I need to do 3 of these to make one set of keycaps for a Prionic. So, and I believe for the minivan, I actually have to do 4 of these because a couple of the rows have more. So I might have to do an offset, 3 of these and then an offset mold that only has a couple of them, that's set up to finish all the keys for a minivan. So it's kind of weird. But I'm only planning on doing a few more. I'm not going to mass produce them as something that's going to be readily available. I'm just mass producing them to actually have them available. So what I mean by that is they're going to be very limited. So when I make them, they're probably going to be run as a raffle, and so you'd have a raffle for a chance to actually buy them. So they're not going to be a guaranteed available all the time kind of thing, because they are a lot of work. And so pricing-wise, I'm still trying to figure that out because, I can't price them at some ridiculous price. No one's actually going to buy them, even though they are 100% custom and 100% artisan, basically. I think still convincing people that that's a good purchase is going to be difficult. So, anyway. Okay, so I think I might actually be done for the day. I think I am going to put a hold on this, come back tomorrow maybe, or maybe Wednesday, and put in the LEDs and do the actual soldering. So I want to thank everybody for stopping by, and thanks for watching. I'm glad to be back into it, and I think I will probably have some time to be able to do more of these streams in the future. Not sure exactly what I will be streaming. I might be streaming making of keycaps. We'll see. It's hard to say because there's I haven't really had a lot of time, and I haven't had a lot of boards to work on, so I haven't been doing board builds. But I do want to desolder and build another Prionic because I have a new case that I want to put some Prionic stuff into. So I might desolder one of my old Easy on the Wallet Prionics and rebuild it. So think about that. All right, anyway, thanks for watching, folks. I hope you have a fantastic day. Enjoy yourselves and keep out of trouble. Have a good one.